As mentioned in part 2 of this sleep series, sleep improvement primarily stems from specific actions you incorporate into your daily routine and through the control of external influences known to impact sleep. We covered the actions last time, but what actions will work best for you is partly related to our external influences. Ultimately, if we understand how various external influences impact our sleep, then we can learn to change our relationship with those influences in ways that promote sleep. So let's jump into the external influences that we can aim to control. We're going to address 7. First, let's talk about electronics and light. One of the most influential external factors to our sleep is light. Light tells our internal clock if it's daytime or nighttime. Since the invention of the light bulb in the late 1800s, we have been exposed to more light at night, which in turn communicates to our internal clock that it isn't as late as it actually is, and this throws off our circadian rhythms. Research has found that our circadian rhythm is even more sensitive to light with short wavelengths, which energy-efficient light bulbs produce. Guess what else has these shortwave energy-efficient artificial blue lights? Electronics. That's right. Your electronics have those energy-efficient blue lights. We are now aware from research that these artificial blue lights delay the release of the hormone melatonin, which is important for inducing sleep. But this is not the only issue with electronics. We also know that engaging with electronics is a stimulating activity that can result in the release of another hormone called dopamine. Dopamine is associated with healthy behaviors like a good conversation with a friend, but also negative health behaviors such as substance abuse. Dopamine is often called the happy hormone or pleasure hormone because we feel a pleasure, satisfaction, and motivation from its release through our bodies. We need our dopamine levels to decrease at the end of the day when we are ready to sleep. So when we engage in activities like social media on our electronics before bed, we are increasing our dopamine levels and delaying our melatonin release, and all of this negatively impacts our sleep. It may surprise you to learn that your food and nutrition choices throughout the day have an impact on your sleep. Eating to support consistent energy throughout the day is an important part of healthy sleep. This is because the types of foods we get our calories from will support wakefulness during the day. What we eat also results in hormone responses that are connected to sleep. To properly support your body during your waking hours, consume a well-balanced, portion-controlled diet rich in protein and complex carbohydrates rich in fiber. This means whole grains, lean meats, fruits, beans and legumes, nuts, and veggies. Limit your refined carbs like sugar, chips, white breads, and fried foods. If your body is still digesting your food when you lay down in bed for the night, this can result in acid reflux and heartburn, making sleep more difficult. Portion control and shifting your lighter meal to dinner and your larger meal to lunchtime can also help with some of these issues. It may also be helpful to have your last meal 4 hours before bed. The best bedtime snacks are high fiber, low saturated fat foods. Think hummus and veggies or fruit. Milk and fish products have also been shown to promote sleep, but keep in mind the dairy product needs to be low in saturated fat. Foods you know tend to be hard on your digestive system should also be avoided closer to bedtime. Maybe don't go for the spiciest foods around dinner or for a bedtime snack. Try and enjoy those items earlier in the day. Third, we have jet lag and shift work. Crossing various time zones results in experiencing the onset of day and night at different times than your body is accustomed to. We've established that circadian rhythm is most affected by light and darkness, so it should come as no big surprise that this shift in day and night onsets would throw off your internal rhythms. When traveling, staying well hydrated will help with the effects of jet lag. If you are traveling through only 1 or 2 time zones, it can help to schedule activities and meetings at times that allow you to try and stay on your normal sleep schedule in your home time zone. If you're traveling across many time zones, it can be helpful to gradually shift your meal times and sleep schedule several days prior to departure. Even a partial shift moving you closer towards your destination's meal and sleep schedule will help you adjust more quickly once you arrive. Upon arrival, try and use the sunlight to help you adjust and try not to go to sleep at your destination until the sun goes down and it is bedtime in the new location. Shift work is complicated and presents unique challenges. Though we don't fully understand from the existing body of research the full complexity of higher risk for health problems that we see in shift workers, we do know that disruption in circadian rhythm plays a role. If you are in shift work, it can be helpful to find places in your schedule that you can keep consistent whether you are on or off work. Is it possible to always eat at the same times? Maybe you're an EMT and you have the ability to always eat at the same time each day unless you're responding to an emergency. Keeping a consistent work schedule can also help. These things may involve a conversation with your employer or supervisor to find solutions. You can also explore ways to time your exposure to bright and dim light. If you follow a shift schedule that requires you to work from midnight until 8 a.m., maybe you invest in light-blocking glasses to use on your way home, and blackout curtains or sleep masks that allow you to keep the house dark so you are able to sleep during the day. It's also important to make time for sleep on your days off. This often involves boundaries agreed upon with family and friends to ensure you have optimal opportunity to get sleep. It probably comes as no surprise that things like pain, anxiety, and various medical conditions can influence sleep. Things that fall into this category tend to limit the depth of sleep we are able to experience, and/or we are likely to only get small doses of sleep between the times we are awake throughout the night. Finding solutions to solve these external influences is challenging because often the way we do this is through medications and other substances, which can be external influencers in and of themselves. Medications are basically chemicals. Some of them can have a profound impact on the quality and quantity of our sleep, while others don't impact our sleep as drastically. Some of the more common over-the-counter and prescription medications known to negatively impact sleep include antihistamines, beta blockers, alpha blockers, and antidepressants. It's important to note here that if you are struggling with pain, anxiety, and other medical conditions, and having trouble sleeping, it is important to talk with your doctor. Other chemical substances can also affect your sleep. It's pretty common knowledge that caffeine can negatively impact our sleep. Caffeine attaches to adenosine receptors. Adenosine is a sleep-inducing neurotransmitter in our bodies that promotes sleep because it is involved in storing and releasing energy. When we drink caffeine, it binds to the adenosine receptors and stops the adenosine from communicating to the rest of the body. When this happens, we get a boost of energy, but once the communication from the adenosine resumes, we feel the delayed communication in the form of a rush of exhaustion. This is because in reality, all we have done is masked our sleep debt. There are a lot of misconceptions around alcohol and sleep. The bottom line is, alcohol has a negative effect on sleep. The reason many of us find this confusing is because alcohol is not only a sedative, it also tricks our body into falling into deeper sleep faster than what is normal. This disrupts our sleep cycles and natural patterns surrounding sleep. Ultimately, we get poor sleep quality with alcohol and more sleep disruptions. Nicotine is harmful to your health whether you consume it through a cigarette, a vape, or any other mechanism. When it comes to sleep specifically, it's important to know nicotine is a stimulant, so using it within 4 hours of sleeping will lead to sleep pattern disruption. Nicotine is also known to cause long-term insomnia and sleep fragmentation. It is also linked to sleep apnea, a serious condition where the muscles in the throat relax and block breathing. Research on the effects of marijuana and CBD on sleep is highly variable. The bottom line is, this is still a pretty new field of research, and the research we do have points to these substances being inducers and prohibitors of sleep. One thing that is clear is that chronic marijuana use over long periods of time decreases any of the positive effects that some research shows cannabis can have on sleep. The jury is out on this one, so it's not a great idea to rush out and try them to solve sleep issues. Sixth, we have sleep enhancers. Over-the-counter sleep enhancers often include antihistamines and melatonin. Though antihistamines are designed to be used for allergy relief, they cause drowsiness for many people, which is why they are often included in over-the-counter sleep aids. Just like any medication, using higher than recommended doses can cause serious medical problems. Melatonin has become a popular go-to in recent years. It makes sense. It's a chemical naturally produced by our bodies, signaling us to sleep. The research shows that melatonin, in the form of a supplement, is helpful in the short term to overcome sleep that is delayed by 2 or more hours beyond what is normal. So, it's very useful for things like jet lag. The research does not support melatonin being very beneficial for long-term use or for more complex sleep conditions. If you are considering taking an over-the-counter sleep aid, it is still important to seek guidance from your doctor. Prescription sleep aids can be very helpful in the short term, but they can also have a negative impact on the sleep cycle. They can also have more profound withdrawal symptoms when stopped abruptly, and they have a higher likelihood of users becoming addicted to them. For these reasons, it is important to consider with your doctor where the benefits outweigh the negatives, just like with any medication. Due to the realities mentioned with over-the-counter medications, as well as prescription medications, it is wise to first consider behavioral therapies known to help with sleep. Studies show that behavioral changes may be better long-term solutions to many sleep problems, and they are likely to be promoted by doctors and therapists when they prescribe sleep medications. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, has been explored as a sleep aid. In one study, those who received the CBT therapy improved their sleep efficiency over a 6-month period follow-up, whereas the medicated group decreased their sleep efficiency during that same time frame. Lastly, we have sleep environment as an external influence on sleep. We've already mentioned how light plays a significant role in sleep. So do temperature and noise. Because of these realities, it's important to recognize that our bedroom or our sleep environment and what is present in that environment plays a role in how well we sleep. It's helpful to consider that if you have a TV in your bedroom, it may be counterproductive to getting a good night's sleep because of the artificial light and stimulating content. It may be useful to consider what your ideal temperature is for sleeping. If you share your bed with another person, what are the things that each of you prefer and need related to your sleep environment? Actively work together to find solutions that allow you both to get a good night's rest. Make sure to subscribe so you can catch the rest of this 5-part series on sleep. See you next time, and in the words of Ronald Dahl, as the night gets dark, let your worries fade. Sleep peacefully knowing you've done all you can do for today. The Facts of Life is a program by the University of Georgia Extension, an equal opportunity affirmative action veteran disability institution. Research-based resources referenced in and related to this episode of Facts of Life can be found in the episode notes and description information. The views and thoughts expressed in this video podcast are the speaker's own and do not necessarily represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of the University of Georgia or the guest organizations and/or employers. The material and information presented here is for general information purposes only. The University of Georgia name, as well as those of guest organizations and all forms and abbreviations, are the property of its owner, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service. These are the Facts of Life. Thanks for joining us. Check out our website at factsoflife.extension.uga.edu. That's FACS of life.extension.uga.edu.